health, but it also tells me the current resolution is not optimal. But
Condition has been upgraded from at risk to stable.
yes, but I did listen back earlier myself, and it sounded fine to me. I was coming through loud and clear to myself. Right, now let me see. How do I do this thing? I can go to manage. Okay. Exiting will not end a stream if currently live. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's what I wanted.
You're doing that. I'm going to refresh my memory of what the hell happened in Millionaire Detective.
Okay, the one that I've got one similar where I'm like, I can't. I know I enjoyed it. I came away with a lovely warm feeling.
Same. It was just, all detail that was empty. But what was? I can't remember. Like, what was it? What was the case? Was it a murder, robbery, vice?
I can remember him wearing a cowboy hat, but I can't remember the first time.
The cowboy hat was so magnificent and glorious. It just burnt away all else in your mind. It's the only image you need. Oh yeah.
But yeah, Millionaire Detective. Yeah, I think it was it that not quite the last thing I watched, but close to. So I'm good for that one. So you watched Art, did you? I need to add that. Was it just the first episode you watched?
I just got to the first one only.
Okay, so I'll stick that at the start. Edit message. Right. Art. Episode 1. Is that a Crunchyroll one or a Funimation one? That edit went badly.
That was a Funimation.
Okay, let's see if I can find the title of this episode.
I can.
Art show.
Yes, that's it. That is it. Yeah.
Now you watched Fruit Basket. Did you not bother with? Well, we worked till Dwayne's here because I don't know what he didn't bother with.
Didn't get to Digimon. I did look at the Tower of God one. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Look at that again. I think I've missed out on that's in.
Right, we better carry on saying something, otherwise people are coming into the stream will be wondering why it's no noise.
I forgot we're live. This is dead air. What am I doing? Oh gosh. But I'll safety net. So lovely weather we're having.
If you go later longer than 8 seconds, there'll have to be a meeting.
Oh gosh. A meeting with ourselves where we will admonish ourselves briefly post recording and then talk about comics we're reading probably.
Yes, instead.
Bonus content for you listeners out there.
Yes.
Make your interest known.
Yeah, there was no. Shonen Jump's back this weekend, though, isn't it? So that's good.
It ought to be.
It is. They've already announced. They've already been saying a new strip starts this weekend. Check it out only on the official Shonen Jump website.
Yeah. In the meantime, I started to put out, at least on a Japanese side, just like an issue full of just one shots. Ones you might have missed, but others are just kind of done up especially for it, I think. Which is kind of neat.
Excuse me.
Oh.
There's Dwayne.
Oh, sorry for the delay. Sorry for the noise. Microphone at face. Okay.
You're online live stream, so.
I know. I'm always making a fucking fool of myself. I do that by waking up.
Righty, let me find the thing we. Oh, before I carry on though, Dwayne, did you watch Digimon Adventure?
I did you not?
That's fine.
That's fine.
I can edit it off the show.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't because we're going live, baby. What do you think about episode of Digimon you haven't seen?
It was a perfectly cromulent episode.
There we go. I think that's all right. I'm just double checking now. Well, I didn't have the last episode title for frickin' Gal and Dino. It's like the most simple premise with name that I cannot remember it. Oh.
That's fine. Oh yeah, I should have asked whether you're going to do some pre-cure this episode.
Oh shit! I didn't add that.
No, it's I think it's let's see, there was one out and there was one
Yeah, so
I
it's
think
about to go on
I
hiatus,
think
I would
there's
guess.
one going
Hmm.
on at this weekend as we're recording, and then it's doing repeats after that. Then, so
Yeah.
I'll
Right.
might just like get that last one and then do the last chunk of it in a big bundle.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Okie dokie, then it is time for me to say those delectable words. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hey,
Hold on one second. Brian's forgot to
okay.
record. He's got too carried away with the streaming, and he's forgot to hit record.
I've actually also forgot to turn on the recording, so I might as well do that just to back it up.
Ephemeral experience.
Slow myself down there, and now it's time for me to say. Let me also hit the voice meter banana. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hi.
It's Niall.
Hi.
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of the 13th of April 2020 to the 19th of April 2020. Boy, I think that's the most amount of breath I've had doing that for a few weeks.
Oh, short of breath. Don't want that.
No, well, I was saying that's the most amount of breath I've been able to have at the end of saying that. But
I am short of breath, and it's worrying in these trying times.
but yeah, I'm less worried now. The breath has come back. Yeah, this week has been like realizing, oh, I was a lot iller than I thought I was. I was giving myself credit for, because suddenly my brain is working at an extra notch.
Well, as long as you live and learn, and next time when Brian is sick, give Brian a break, Brian.
Yeah, I should probably do that, but probably for my sanity, I was pushing myself further. But maybe that's not good for the body.
Yeah, no, whenever I'm sick, I always want to do all the things that I could do when I'm healthy, but I can't do now.
Yes, or possibly after you've taken flu medicine, you're suddenly pumped up with caffeine.
I'm full of fucking caffeine and painkillers. I'm good to go.
And you think you're
All
better
this
than
energy
you actually
was
were.
tempered by delirium.
Yeah, because that was the 2 days I was taking them was the 2 days before I was coughing till I was sick. So I guess I really should. And that was also while I was taking them, it was also the 2 days where I washed the bathroom and the hallway. So I probably shouldn't have done that. So if you get ill, take it easy, folks. But onto this subject of anime. Hopefully next week there should be no longer health updates from Brian. Hopefully,
That's a constant in this, though. I think that's important.
No health updates from Dwayne and Niall, hopefully.
I
My
put on
shoulders
weight,
had me.
so I've got a shortness of breath because I can't fucking exercise, so I'm learning how to do indoor exercises. I'm
Yeah.
making do.
I've been in fine health, but I have a kind of a thing, hyper joint mobility, where it's like what you would call double jointedness, even though it isn't quite right way. But it means that you wake up some days and you feel like someone has taken a hammer to alternately your knees or shoulders and like that. And my left shoulder has been fucked.
Oh yeah,
Hasn't been good. As well, I'm on night shifts at the moment of recording, and those are a lot harder to kind of get through now because you usually sleep during the day. But the problem is, due to the current situation, everybody is at home all the time. It's difficult to get a restful amount of sleep.
Have you got?
While
Any,
you're working, and you're
yeah, I was gonna say, have you got any foam earplugs?
I do, but they're not much, not that great from the young lad next door. I can't, not going to begrudge him trying to get out a bit in the sunshine whenever we can, but for God's sake, we stop leathering that ball off the wall. He's just fucking smashing it in. Like, it'd be fine if it was just like this background noise, but this kind of the repetition is what snaps you out of your slumber.
It's the repetition, and I imagine the sound like bounces back and forth between the houses, that kind of fucking way.
Yeah, then the usual drilling, hammering, the flat upstairs that does seems to hoover the skirting boards every day.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah, I suppose. Got even more time to do it nowadays.
Yeah, my neighbour who likes to work on cars is working on cars a lot more. So yes, just occasionally the sound of hammer on metal.
Hammer on flesh and every other week.
So we're going to start off though with something which didn't air this week. It's art. Episode 1.
Art.
I want to be an apprentice. Niall,
Shit,
I
I knew there was something I meant to watch.
believe you watched this.
Yeah, it's a nice little thing. It is Renaissance Florence. It is about a woman, based on a real artist, I think, Artemisia something or other. But anyways, she's born of like a noble family, and has aspirations for wanting to, become an artist, become an apprentice, and really indulge and develop her talent for it. It's something she picked up. Her father wanted to taught her so she would learn something about the world and something about something that she could be kind of creative with and just have something to kind of occupy, have a talent, maybe something to fall back on perhaps, and there's always kind of to make her more attractive to her prospective suitor because she's she's culture,
she's worldly, and she has a talent to make her stand out. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But she doesn't really like the idea. If I'm getting hitched, I want to do it on my own terms. In the meantime, I'm all about this art. I want to do it all the time. But her father has passed away recently, and her mother was kind of around the house and is dead set on getting her married off as soon as possible. In terms of the stop with this art crack, it's no way for a lady to behave. Going to the extent of going through her house and taking up all of her sketches and drawings and just burning them in the middle of the courtyard. Extreme. It says, "F you, ma'am. I'm going to go out. I'm going to get the hell out of here and go into Florence and go to every workshop will train me." So she goes on and does that then, but no one wants to take her in because a lady can't do art. This is before the Air Board ruling was instated. Well, that woman actually can do art, but there's a law against it now, or they won't take it. They won't take it seriously. She goes around to every workshop in town, and they're just keep turning her away. But she arrives at one, and she's getting pretty pissed off at this stage now, and has a bit of an outburst. And she says, "We're going to take that woman." "Oh, that's where it's going to be, huh?" So her belongings has been scattered on the ground. Now she gets carted out the door, and she takes up the palette knife or a razor or something like that. She's she's gonna fucking cut us up. Watch out, lads! But she just cuts off her long braided hair at the back. There, the haircut's gone. I got a boy's haircut now. Is that good enough? No? Well, how about I fucking cut my breasts off then? Give me that. And then there's an onlooker in the crowd, a kind of very kind of middle-aged, kind of smouldering, handsome gentleman who's probably got a story behind those eyes. But you see her in the middle of this outburst and kind of moves in to try and calm her down. Where he brings her away and just starts off in the story. "Hey, look, I'll take care of this." "Oh yeah, Leo. You wanted that little workshop. You ain't got no apprentice. How about you take on this crazy lass?" So he brings her off away and sits her down in the workshop and actually hears her out because they wouldn't even look at her drawings in their workshops. So you kind of flicking through them. He's dead silent. She's dead nervous and as well. You kind of sets them down on one side. No comment, no really giving anything away, but asks her, "So, why do you want to do art? Why do you want to become an artisan?" And she's fumbling kind of over her words and trying to pick it around, but he arrives at this. "Well, I want to do art because it makes me happy. It's something that when I do it fills me with happiness, and I want to spread happiness around and get really good at it." He's just going, I see. Okay. All right. How about this? I got a little job for you. You're familiar with tempera? Yes, it's when you mix you paint with egg whites together, so you can paint it onto things. Yes. So I want you to prepare all of these boards for painting. You gotta sand them down. You gotta give them the undercoat. You gotta just finish them all off, get them all nice and even. I need all these done by tomorrow. There's 20 of them here. Can you do this all? I was yeah, I can do it, boss. You just leave it to me. I'll take care of this. Right. I gotta step out for a while. I'll be back later. I'll just leave it to it. Says, "Okay, I'll do what Master Leo says, and I'll get down to this." And he just fixed off down the pub. He's just there with his wine. He's remembering memories past, and the other guys and worked up. "Hey, it's Leo. How'd you get on with that crazy girl? I heard you did something a guy get her to prepare 20 boats of painting in a single night. No one could do that. My lads could barely do half of that amount if they worked flat out for the whole night." I said, "That's the idea. I didn't want her coming in, so I set her an impossible task. Who she thinks she is waltzing in here, saying she wants to do art, becomes an artisan. That's because it's something makes her happy. when I was her age. I was living on the streets. My family was ruined. I went from place to place trying to get into the workshop so I get a job in there so I build my up and provide for my family. But it kept getting turned down because we were poor. And I said that I'm not doing that for fun, not doing it because I want to be happy. So while I do something, while I succeed and live on this world under my own power. And he gets too drunk then. So it's like, oh, she's brought back a bad memory. She stumbles back hungover the next day. And what do you know? She's unconscious on the floor. But she's finished the whole thing. She was striving away at it. No, she was sanding away at the boards and thinking, okay, I can do this. Ow, my hands. I'm only like 3 boards in and my hands are cut to shit. But I gotta keep doing this because Leo, he's something in me. He's a guy who listened to me, actually sat down. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to get on through this. He keeps kind of trying to like play through the pain. It's like, I like doing art. Art is my life. But she gets through the entire night and she's finished all the boards and he's taken it back. But he's like, what? How the heck did you do this? It's like, I thought about what I said before, and when I said why I wanted to become an artist, it wasn't really because of what I said. It was more so I've had people telling me what I can and can't do my whole life. They only to see me as something to like broker like a new deal or a new marriage or new relations like that. I'm just kind of used to be kind of moved around. I mean, but I want something to be more than that. I don't want it to be my only purpose. So I wanted to this is something I really enjoyed. It reminds me of my father, who, as long as he's passed, it's the memory I have of him. And I just wanted to have something I was good at, even if this doesn't work out for me. I want to at least try to do something under my own power and see something in my own 2 hands. And he's obviously sees the true potential in her there. And in fairness to work, she did do 20 boards in one night, which should not have been possible, but she did it. Good fair play to her. It's like, grand. Get your things, I'll set you up. She goes back home, she gets her things together. Her mother was saying, what are you doing? You can't become an artist. Well, too bad, ma'am. I found an artisan, and he's willing to take me on, so F you. Whatever comes out of this, I've done it myself. Sweet sets her up then. She's going to be living in the studio. There's no really available that's kind of decent for her to bed down in, so he puts her in the shed on the roof. It's like, well, it's got what you need. It's got 4 walls, most of a roof, some hay there, for straw for a bed. So, just fix it up, hang a few things on the wall, it'll be grand. But I don't know about this. You want to be the apprentice to me, don't you? Yeah, I suppose. Okay, well, work away. And you kind of again has a very stoic, very chipper attitude to it anyway, and thinks, well, this is what. It just was easy. It was something that was easy to do. Anybody would do it, but it's something that I'm dreaming, got a passion for. So I gotta really take the rough with the smooth and just work on through it. And sure enough, after a blustery night of wind and rain and cold, she wakes up. Then it's a beautiful dawn, blooming out over the rooftops of Florence, and she thinks, yes, there is beauty in everywhere, and I just gotta find it and bring it out. Which is something interesting about her room, but also about herself. So it's nice. So it's, as that would imply, it's a fairly standard kind of, I'm going to become the best at blank. I got a gruff but well-meaning mentor figure here who's got some kind of sad or tragic past that he's not willing to talk about just yet, but I'm sure he'll open about and come to terms with by meeting me and my upbeat attitude and positive attitude about life. So you can kind of see how it's going to go, bit by bit by bit. But that's not to say this isn't pleasant to watch. I have a kind of fondness for the space because I'm an art college kid. I did art all the way up in school. I know you are as well, Dwayne.
Yep, that's why I meant to watch this, but I forgot.
Yeah, so there's all the things in there. Of course, even just kind of basic things right now I was seeing about just mention kind of temperature paint, but there's little details about the things hanging around the studio. There's some nice background in the studios. The cities, not so much, but I like how the workshops are set up. All of the usual kind of gears, the pallets, the tools, the let's try working away on blocks of marble or preparing a canvas for later. All those little details. So I'm kind of interested to see like what kind of techniques they'll kind of go into it. So I think this is like a comic written by somebody who has a particular interest in this in time period to begin with. So this is probably an avenue to indulge their nerdiness about all the little minutiae of Renaissance Italy and the artists who worked during it.
I was kind of curious how they were going to do Da Vinci, because obviously he's very like, I don't think he ever successfully completed a commission in his entire fucking life, and how he mostly made money was what, like set dressing for plays and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But they appear to have done him as a complete shitbag, which is great, because you can be talented and be kind of an asshole about it.
I think this Leo might not be that Leo.
I thought they were going to do it that way. That'd be nice.
We see in Master Leo's past, while he's out in the streets, the person who inspired him to sort of follow his dreams, no matter how hard it is, and provide yourself as an artist, was a guy who's, we don't see his eyes or top of his head, but you see his mouth, you see his luxuriant beard, and you see something in the sketches that he's got scarred on the street and saying, "Hey, you got some real talent, kid. You should keep at this." And wonder, was that the different Leo, a more famous Leo?
Okay.
I understand as well. This is based, I'd say, somewhat loosely on the life of Artemisia Gentileschi, if I'm saying that properly. But even though the time frame doesn't match up, I think this is 1499. This is set, and she was only alive from 1593 to 1656.
Yeah,
but she was like probably one of the more well-known of the a female Italian artists working around this time period. It's always kind of way there was like lots of figures like her who were active around time, but everyone always knew about the Leonardos and Michelangelos and all those lads. Hopefully, very loosely based, because I think she has some tragedy that comes into her life at a certain stage. But I might stick with this. Like I said, it's pleasant enough. I'm interested in the subject matter and the location, the period of it. It's grand to look at. It wouldn't be anything that's going to blow the doors off. But we'll see how they get into it. We're seeing maybe some more like lovely works of art being rendered and the finished results and all that. But so it's definitely watching. If I got time for it, I'll try and keep up with it.
Then we've got Super Shiro, episode 26, The Scaaary Professor's Mansion, in which the baboon is located in a mansion that is so scary, even stray cats won't go in there. But you've got to be a big, brave hero, Shiro.
I really liked his like, okay, I'll do it, but I don't want to this time.
Roger. I don't want to.
Roger.
Yeah.
Also, this did not go in a direction I thought it was. I was like, okay, Mad Professor, spooky house, I got it, cool. Completely fucking left field it took me, which is great.
I think this was one of my favorite episodes, just for terms of the diversity of gags there are.
It's really crammed, yeah.
Some good swerves in here as well.
He pushes a planter up to the door to knock on the letterbox, or look through the letterbox, but the door's already unlocked. And so he sneaks inside, as does Dekapoo. They get scared by a plastic bag that gets wrapped around Dekapoo's head.
They both get scared by the same one, which is great.
Then they start working together because they're both too scared to do it on their own.
Also, Shiro did save his life from suffocating inside a plastic bag. So,
and then we see a glimpse of the Scaaary Professor, who has been building this robot that will cut hair from anywhere, even delicate areas. And he's very happy that he's finally made this robot. So then he heads off home and locks up. He doesn't actually live here, apparently. He just heads off home.
This is just where he works. Yeah, you don't want to live. You don't want to work where you live. Yeah.
Locks up the mansion, and now they're trapped inside. And they're searching around, and I couldn't quite figure out what the bone was. It's a bottle with something in it.
Crap, I think it's like hair product or something.
Locks, so they do kind of like microchips. Very iridescent.
Could be. But like, it could be like a tube, I guess.
But yeah, in struggling over this, they accidentally set the robot off, and then of course they've got to flee from getting their hair cut. So they have lots of hiding. They hide in some indoor bushes, which get pruned to make them look like the Statue of Liberty. And what's the other one?
The Tinker.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
And my favorite gag is when it prunes the paintings. And
Yes.
Oh, that was fantastic.
one of the
yeah.
paintings is of Chewbacca, a
Yep.
legally distinct version of Chewbacca. But when it's clipped of its hairs, it's now a man in a mocap suit.
That was fucking
Throwing some shade
beautiful.
there. They've forgotten the old ways.
That was a good bit. I did like the way there's such it's so cramped packed. The little design that kind of goes through the mansion that initially looks like scary eyes with angry eyebrows on it, and then you realize, oh no, those are scissors.
Yes.
This is like some sort of barber-based mad scientist.
Yes, he's even the key which Shiro uses to help Deku out has got a beard on the key ring. So Super Shiro uses his superpower of having his extra soft, fluffy body can squeeze through any gap.
Dislocating all his joints.
Yes.
I'll go through the gap in the door, you distract the robot, and I'll open the door from the outside. And as Deku's distracting the robot, he's like, wait a minute, he could just run away and leave me to die.
But he doesn't, because he's a hero.
He's a hero.
And I like the fact at this point we don't need to see Akio Otsuka telling Super Shiro that he's got to do the right thing. We can already hear it in our heads, that conversation happening the other side of the door.
I was hearing it too. Like a hero's only as good as his word, baby.
So then, yes, and then he lets Deku out, and Deku's like, "I'm sorry for ever doubting you."
And he happily goes off going wow, I fucking saved my life. And it's like, I forgot the bubble. Damn it.
And as he was walking away, my brain, I was thinking, you know what should happen now? We should just see the explosion in the background. And we did.
Yeah, the show knows you know the format watching
Saw
it.
you
And
coming, right?
fucking well done.
It was a beautiful thing. And yet there was other things I found even funnier this week. But this was for the amount of funniness packed within the smallest amount of time.
That's some damn fine animation.
Yes.
It looks like we're going to get more of it next week again.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's nice.
it's like it's an interesting technique applied there. I don't know, it's just because of something else I watched recently. I thought, is that claymation? I love if it was.
Then we got... Yes, we'll get to that other thing next week. Woodpecker Detective's Office. Episode 1, A Pleasant Occupation. A show which annoyingly is quite good. So I was like, I guess... Well, I've made One Piece is off the air now, so if this manages to stay on the air, I don't know how much they've made already, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to watch this. Yes, I now have to refer to the Wikipedia page to find out who these real people are. So, we are following the adventures of, at least for now, Takuboku Ishikawa and Kyosuke Kindaichi. But I know on the Wikipedia page, every single person has a link through to their historical Wikipedia page. So,
Is that spoilers or?
I don't know. Well, no, because apparently the description is that the description says they are investigating a ghost haunting at the Ryo Unkaku skyscraper that we see prominently in the background throughout this episode.
I mean, but it could have been Old Man Willikers in a disguise.
Yes, and they don't resolve the mystery they start off this week, and next week they're into another mystery. So
I think this dude is the guy who takes on too many projects and then finishes none of them.
So get a brief introduction, and then we get the opening credits, which basically, and the introduction and the opening credits basically tell you, if you weren't aware, that Takuboku Ishikawa died really young, and he is not long for this world.
I mean, your man's like, I miss my friend. I'm an old man now, and my friend is long gone. And it's like, yeah, he's super dead. Okay, cool.
Yes. So yeah, I looked at his Wikipedia page. So if he's in Tokyo, this is sometime between 1908 and 1911. Because he moved to Tokyo in 1908, and he moved out of Tokyo in 1911 for health reasons. And then he died the following year from tuberculosis. Or at least I assume that's the diagnosis. I noticed that they very focused on him smoking at certain points.
That's true, actually. They do make a point of showing your man not lend him. Actually, he says, "I'm gonna quit smoking," and he lends him the cigarettes and the matches and everything.
Whereas, yes, Ishikawa was a poet, and Kindaichi is a linguist. And they're good friends. They're kind of the good friends where Ishikawa is kind of good for nothing to a certain degree, but he's a lovable good for nothing. So Kindaichi can't help. And he's a very good poet. That's the other thing. He's good company.
Yeah,
he's a
he's
good
definitely
poet.
like leaning on the guy's kindness to him
Yes,
a bit too hard, but he's not being shitty about it, I guess.
I guess
The closest thing to being shitty is when he's about to be kicked out of his fucking apartment, and
Yeah.
the guy goes like, "Oh, I'll fucking get you a few bob. Don't worry about it." And then he goes like, "I'm gonna eat this fucking lunch because fuck it, it's here, right? No point in worrying when lunch is in front
and then
of
he
you."
spills it later on. But yeah, as a friendship, yes, it's their fine. But then when he decides to take up being a detective, as after he drags Kindaichi to a brothel just to embarrass him, apparently, and as they're going in, somebody rushes out who brushes blood onto Ishikawa, and then that sets him off. Sets his mind a racing.
There's a mystery to be solved here.
Yes, they find a corpse, and in the papers the next day, the detective who had met them has arrested the suspect, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the man who ran out." And then he's like, "But I think he's been framed."
It's too simple.
Yes, it's too simple. But then, in order to convince the detective of this, he then fakes his own evidence.
Yeah. In order to prove that his theory could be correct, he fakes a potential theory, but not actually what fucking happened.
Yes, and drags along a notable doctor from the army to be the witness of his genius, of like having a third party here to.
I did like the way that guy was super annoyed. It's like, fine, I'll come see your brilliant fucking thing. Take us to the mansion so you can lay it all out for us. All right. Just get on with it. But then they're all quite impressed in the end when he like flips the bucket in a very smug sort of like, gotcha, motherfucker. When he planted. What a dick.
Yes, because when he's like, oh, because early on he's like, oh, you could be a detective. He's like, there's not much money in being. If I don't work for the police, how am I going to make money? And they mentioned that like one of their friends is
private detective.
Yeah, is a private detective, and he's making good money apparently. So that's. I assume that will be the motivation going forward for them continuing to be a detective and dragging his Watson along with him. But yeah, I really liked. I was surprised how, because in like the opening scenes, because weirdly the older version of him is just him with a mustache, and I was like, oh dear, what am I letting say? But then the opening credits play, and they're really quite nice, and then the actual episode has got a lot of nice animation, and I really like the characters, and I liked the kind of the terrible detective behavior, because you wouldn't see that in a lot of other detective things, of the detective faking his own evidence to
faking evidence to show that while the thing could be wrong, it's not wrong in this regard, but I just need them to believe it's wrong in this regard to make them question what the actual story is, which is really shitty. But it does have this standard detective stuff of your mind kind of like going off into a stare, like, because the guy just said something, it's like, wait, you put the pieces together in my head. That kind of fucking.
But again, it's weird that the episode ends with them not finding who the person is. It feels like it's somebody who would be like him, because the guy's been framed because there was the guy had gone in. The reason he was coming out is because he'd stolen a letter from the corpse, because it was a letter accusing him of presumably the same thing which was in the fake letter, which was
like, if they find this corpse that has blood all over and this letter accusing me of a thing, it's going to look like I killed him, so I'm going to steal that letter and get the fuck out of here.
Yes, but whoever did kill him had got the guy to write another copy of the letter, or a slightly different letter, and dumped that and the murder weapon in the garden of the guy who's been framed. And it was
basically like it was a blood smear thing. Like the blood smear on the letter wasn't the same kind of pattern that would have happened.
And they're all getting hung up on it like looking like a skull, and that's not the point at all. It's that it's just the wrong shape.
It's a splash of blood. It shouldn't be like a drop of blood. That's the wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope they do eventually solve all these mysteries, or maybe they're all tied together. But
Maybe they'll solve nothing, and it'll be very pleasant.
that could also be because maybe the thing is the friendship between the two men, and again, similar to another show we'll get to later, it's the idea of the modern and the traditional, and because they're very
the
distinct.
modern and traditional, but also like the buddy cop fucking thing, where they have a very different way of looking at the world. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I was looking at Ishikawa's. He was like a child prodigy, like started publishing things at age 13.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah, so while he was only 26, he got a lot done before he died. But
Burn bright, burn fast.
yeah, I feel like that's a thing. But it's like the bit of like him when he lit the cigarette and then we like followed the smoke into other people's faces and things. It was like, okay, they say, well, probably not good to smoke when you've got tuberculosis, one would guess. But also like the thing of like him pretending to have stomach problems is like, there feels like a lot of things about like, his focusing on his body and like his frailness, even though that's not necessarily visible yet. It's playing with the idea that you know who this is and his fate, and if you don't, it informs you straight away in the show, and the opening credits are going to remind you every single episode in the apparently one thing the Avengers has done is people turning to dust is definitely a visual metaphor now for people dying more than it has been before. But
I feel like it's been like, I mean, like that's
it's been before,
thing.
But yes,
yeah.
But,
so I mean, like it's pretty fucking old, but yeah,
but yes, I feel like its current popularity, yes,
for sure,
is definitely Avengers related.
It became a fucking meme, so that's going to happen.
And the opening's like it has them dressed in modern dress as well, which is it's kind of playing up like the friendship of like, oh, this could have been romantic if you want to think hard about it, but there's no evidence that it was.
I feel like they're probably going to lean into that, but they're probably not going to suggest that.
No, there's no mention yet of Ishikawa's wife, but I believe that is in the history books as well. There's barely any mention, and in his own work. And while he was married, he spent ages trying to attract the attention of another woman as well. That was before this point, but there, I suspect that that character will not. I couldn't figure out, was the woman was she a girl or was she just a very short woman?
I have no idea. Like the landlady, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
with the man, but yeah, we'll see.
The only thing I could tell about the relationship is she definitely has power over him, and he's just sweet talking her the whole time to make her not kick him out.
Yes, well, he'd eventually be eating that soup at the soup kitchen, one way or another. Then we've got Fruits Basket, episode 2, Eat Somen with your friends.
Yeah. What was happening? How does it even begin? I know that it's Toru and Kyo going to visit Kyo's master, Yushisho. I don't know why. I
think the opening scene is them having lunch with all the friends, kind of like it just getting us caught up with everyone again. And here's how everyone's relationship works, because they're discussing like the things happen in school. Everyone has to turn in what I want to be when I leave school. Thing, here's my job.
They're
I've forgotten the term for it now.
Kind of like your writing about career, like writing about what you do after school.
Yeah, career plan or something. There's a proper term for it, but I can't think of it. But yeah, they're all kind of discussing that. I did like the misunderstanding with Toru's witchy friend, where she's kind of like, "Oh, I have to marry." It's like, I don't know if I could marry Toru, but I mean, like, she is nice, so. And then she thinks she's in a competition with the two guys there, and it was weird. But then later they're kind of just going to visit your man's master, I think just to have dinner, basically.
Yeah, let's see how he's going.
Because they haven't visited, basically.
Yeah, he's got a haircut. It's like, well, nice haircut. Where'd you get that? Some things happened, and this felt like a change.
Well, considering how long his hair was, it's a big change.
Yeah, it's as well like something that's career planning to be like a meeting with your parent or guardian. So I suppose like Kyo is, it's on his mind. Need to go have a parent or guardian sign off on this, but he's apprehensive about, is it even a point to be doing this? Because as soon as I get out of school, they're probably going to lock me in a cage because I'm the cat. And I'm the demon.
Once you hit the age of you're more likely to turn into a monster, they're going to lock me up in the cage for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So he's talking, but really not talking about that with his master because we're rubbish at expressing their feelings to each other.
Damn masculine feelings getting in the way.
Yeah. But Kazuma is a bit more receptive of that. He kind of is getting the vibe off of him. Also,
he knows what's going on, but he knows he can't say it say it to the kid because the kid would just kind of back off from him, kind of thing. Yeah, so he kind of knows, and it's like, hey, you're cooking breakfast for this girl and everything. Okay, I'll leave you guys to it, because he actually does suck at cooking, as we find out in this episode. But it's a good reason for him to leave his ward and the girl he clearly likes together alone for some alone time. He's playing matchmaker pretty good.
But also he's been called out because he's meeting up with Kyo's biological father, and he's throwing him up at her about, because I think he's gotten wind of this this school meeting. And he's saying, fucking can't come to this meeting right now. Everyone think he's having dreams of a future. And sees the fucking cat, the curse upon the family.
He never refers to him by name. He keeps calling him like It and the A, and he won't refer to Kyo as his son. Which is fucked up.
And Kazuma phone calls him out and everyone saying, yeah, you might be his father, but you're not his daddy. I'm his daddy.
Yeah, like he initially insults him by saying, he's like, you're a lot like Kyo was when he was younger. He was all like angry at the world and just like lashing out. But he's grown, and I'm gonna keep watching him grow. Bye, bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of like a way like he's seeing a way that Kyo's biological father is. It could be like what Kyo could have turned out like, and he's just like, I'm going to do everything I can to try and steer him away from that bleak existence. But I come back then, and it's nice to have a little bit to eat. But they stay super late, and they're coming back home. No, it's too late then. No, there's a few things in between. Tora's coming like out of her after school job, and Momiji is there because he's usually there in the building. He's saying, "Yeah, I got like a plan for what I'm going to do when I'm finished school." Which tits Tora back a bit, because even like Momiji, the little cute little cute little fellow he is, has got plans for his future. He's thought about this seriously, and he's saying it's going to go.
He has a plan, but he says, I might be able to do it, but I'm still going to plan to do it, basically.
Yeah.
He's going to look forward to a future he mightn't even get to do.
Yeah. Yuki walks her home, and, he's trying to dance around to subject a little bit, saying, look, we've all got things you want to fight for. But he's not screaming out loud. But to get back then, and Kyo was like, I'm kind of hungry here. I'm going to make a snack for myself. You want some? Okay, I'm making some as well. And they're sitting down there and kind of talking about this. And Kyo is kind of calling her out on a couple of things. Essentially, like, she is a person who is worried so much about people besides herself, and wanting to not appease, but wanting to
wanted to help everyone else,
want to help everybody out except for herself. But she's kind of thinking again, well, I've tried through this, and I'm always stuff for kind of positive everything I do in the world, and I find like an all happiness right now. But all of this talk about what you're going to do after school, it just keeps putting this in my mind about, well, I'm going to have to leave this wonderful little household that's just generosity and compassion to take me in, and I've met like myself, Kyo and Yuki and Scaaary and all the rest of the family, and that's been going on great. But whenever people talk about this career plan, it's really freaking me out because everyone else seems to got figured out. Even Momiji's got figured it out. Like, what's happening with there? I haven't got nothing. I got no idea. And
he's getting like anxiety about thinking about the future. And I did like the little visual of her like growing up, of just her just kind of standing there looking, or standing there smiling. And she's a little kid. She's at home. She's getting older. She's at school. She's a little older. She's living in a fucking tent because her mother's dead. And a little older, she's in this house. She's like, fucking my life's been a fucking whiplash of emotion. I don't know where the fuck I'm going to be in a year, not to mention 5 years. So fuck, and it's really getting to her because she's not talking about it as well.
Yeah. But Scaaary is in the next room because he was all Kira making Toru cry again. Everyone saying, no, let's don't mind that. But
He gives some solid advice.
solid advice.
It's all right to worry about the future, but kind of worry about what's in front of you first and take care of that.
Use the metaphor, I guess, I don't know. He's just like, what's the thing that Toru likes, like Toru is often doing? He's often doing laundry, so I'll put it in terms of this. Imagine a giant pile of dirty sheets in front of you, and you can't even look over it. It's a massive amount. You're going to be thinking, how am I going to approach this massive pile? It can't be done. It's impossible. I'll be for eternity doing this. But you can't think about it that way, because obviously that seems impossible. But you got to just look down what's at your feet, and you start washing that, you start drying that out and folding it. You just keep at that, whatever's at your feet. And bit by bit, you will have a nice line full of clean linen. So it's not about, you can worry yourself stupid, thinking about things down the line that you have no clear idea of, it's just still too vague, but you know they're coming. But you just need to think about what you can do now, what's under your control, what are actually under your control. Because you can't control time, you can't control the future, just say. You can control the present, which can build to a future. But you gotta keep some perspective on things. And
I do like the way he offsets the excellent advice by going like, "Hey, you guys eating fucking food? I want to eat food. Give me some."
You guys eating what? It's like cold soba. It's like, oh, I could have some cold soba.
And she decides to go upstairs and get Yuki down because it's like, hey, I know you've been apprehensive, you didn't want to talk about it, so how about we all go eat together now? And he's like, what? Because it's basically by sharing a meal together, they're kind of like being more open and less closed off in themselves, and it is actually a good way to therapeutically get through it.
Yeah, I mean, what's something you can do right now? Well, I probably should eat something proper. Whatever happens, you need to eat something, and that's probably a wise thing to do. Because you can get so caught up in other worries, concerns, and well, I gotta take priority about this. I gotta do this first before I can sit down and have something to eat. If I'm saying no, you need like that to keep on going with this, and that's what I'm trying to get at. And that's why again, it's added again. Fruits basket, all like the previous season to this, is almost saying the exact same thing. Wherever you went through, to put it all in the context for you. That could be just, this is just pretty universal advice.
Of course.
A lot of things in your life. But just, it's really guys timing down for when it's adapted these stories from the comic and put them on the TV. So a lot of people are feeling this way. They think there's a lot of factors that they can't control or the goalposts are moved from day to day. They can't keep track of things. But it's about, what can you control right now in your home? Can you get the house clean? Can you get some food in and make something like a decent meal for yourself? Are you not driving yourself crazy, like watching the news and updating and refreshing the page every 5 minutes, trying to see what will happen next? No, don't be doing that. Just control. Don't be worrying about things like that. Just focus on take care of yourself, and take care of yourself, and you'll be better able to take care of others as well. Yeah. Can't say much more than that. It's just like fun, just bang on with the timing. It just cuts right to the core of things, even if it's doing it somewhat inadvertently. I was liking as well, Kyo. He was trying to be straight with, like he was being straight with Toru. He's like, oh, she's going to tears, but he's not like backing off. He's like saying, no, I'm sorry to make you cry, but this is something you need to kind of think about as well. This is like a reality you gotta face until you've been in denial about it. It shows
like he's so close to being shitty. Like he's like, hey, I'm kind of used to you crying at this stage, so I'm just gonna keep having this conversation with you. And like Toru continues the conversation. There's no reason to stop because the girl's crying. It's like, no, this is good because you're talking about it.
Yeah.
It kind of shows their development.
It shows the differences in relationship where couldn't be upfront all at once with Yuki, but there is this openness with Kyo then where he feels comfortable like acting that way and talking that way to her. Like not being mean, but he thinks, no, you're somebody I care about, and I'm going to be real with you, even if it does make you cry. But I gotta be real with you.
Then we got Tower of God, episode 3, The Correct Door. Does that have any resonance with current situations.
Well, they are all locked indoors, I guess, so that's kind of one thing.
Yeah. This is a call based around one little examination. Is that one overflowing into the other, and it's very simple. You'll be well. They're waiting outside the lobby, so look, I wonder what the hell's going on themselves.
I did like the way we get the background though. He's like, "Wow, like what's that weird ceiling out there?" And it's like, dude, that's the sky. And the dinosaur man is like, "Oh my god, this fucking idiot doesn't know what a sky is." But it's like, it's not the real sky because that's all fucked for reasons we can't go into right now. This is like a simulation of it. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is up with this world? I don't know. We did get a bit of background with Kun, where it's like he's disgraced family and everyone thought he was sleeping with his sister or something like that. I was like, okay, there's some weirdness going on here, but it's not being specific about what the dealio is. Yeah, that he was kicked out for. But his whole family like got a doing from it, not just him. But yeah, the basic premise is they take the teams into a room and you pass or fail, and you don't know what it is. And a very friendly bag of water man who kind of looks like one of those stress ball toys kind of comes like, hey, I've noticed the fucking pattern here. You guys seem cool, so I said I'd share it with you. No one has passed who took longer than 5 minutes to pass it, so keep that in mind. And yeah, Kun can clearly say he's just fucking telling us this so he can test his own theory. And he's like, I don't fucking know. You just fucking do what you want. See how it goes. Which is kind of like you can see him playing against these guys, and also Kun not trusting anyone, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the deal. They go into the room. There's like 10 doors or something like that.
12 doors.
12 doors.
Like
Yeah,
that,
there's a bunch of red doors. The guy's like, okay, simple test. You got 10 minutes. Open the right door within 10 minutes, and if you do, you pass. And so they're like, Kun's like, okay, so there's 10 divided by 12, and fucking, okay, so what's the thing? Is it what I think it is, or is it not supposed to be what I think it is? Because I don't know what to trust it. Yeah. Meantime, Rack is just running around going like, I'm frustrated by making making me use my brain.
You make me brain think, head hurt. And Batman is trying to don't let Kun do this. He's the nerd. He's the brain. Let him. This is like white in his wheelhouse. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, because your man's sitting there. It's like, wow, cool. Dude who uses his brain. That's unusual in this fucking game. Won't help him in this one though. Not saying it to himself, obviously.
Like as if really a feet fancy dude. He has all of the regalia. He's it's like he's doing tea ceremony, but it's instant coffee.
Super non-classy, but
oops,
yeah.
Let me get that.
Oh, someone wants to be let in.
Hopefully they have the right door. Okay, so the actual thing is, while he's freaking out about the door, Rack kicks one random door open, and it's the right door, and he's like, "How the fuck did you know that door?" And he's like, I'm just sick of it, impatient, and that kind of thing. And your man's like, "Yeah, actually, the correct answer in this one was to not overthink things and to just go when you need to go." So the actual test was open a door within 5 minutes.
So the guy was right.
And then later on, yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, instinct. I went with my gut. I'm actually a fucking genius." Goes Rack. He's not a genius, but he goes with his gut, and that's important sometimes because they do say like one of the factors is luck, skill, power, but also just going for it, because sitting down doing nothing doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah, he's overthinking it. He's reading into things way too much, and that's just a factor in his background, or he's just what he's gone through. His instinct, his go-to move is to not trust anything anybody tells you. At least, I
mean, like the rules in this case were not to be trusted, and the clue that they've been given, which we later find out that your man specifically asked that weird bag man to give them that clue. Not tell them how to solve it, just give them an idea where to fucking go with it. So he's trying to like steer them maybe a little. It's interesting, but we don't know any reasons why.
Well, it's ever like whatever means to an end they're going to get out of this.
Sure.
People who run the games in the tower. And
then we got game 2, the King game.
Yeah, there was a second game. It's just like
the start of it anyway. Yeah.
Feels like some of these some of like the games like they feel longer than they actually are. Maybe not
Yeah.
because I'd drag it on, but maybe I get a bit engrossed in them, I suppose. And I forget. Oh yeah, there was like the start of another game at the end of this episode. Yeah,
I think it was actually more the King game than the Right Door game. But yeah, the basic thing is it's fucking Hell in a Cell. All the teams kind of like you pair off in two teams. Two teams pop in. One person grabs the crown and sits on the chair, and then they win. And then have to. Other teams have to come in and then fight them. And if you knock the guy out of the chair, knock the crown off his head, whatever, that guy has to stay sitting in the chair for I don't know a certain amount of time. Yeah. And you go through all the
It's more like capture the flag.
Yeah.
It's going to be like
just specific rules
game.
regarding it.
It's going to be like a 10-minute game. Whoever is like sitting on the throne wearing the crown at the end of the game wins. So, like if you go in there early, you can kind of seize the crown early and hang on to it. But you've got much longer time to withstand all the attacks against you. So you got to.
But if the team sitting down there for 10 minutes wins in the meantime while you're waiting for them to be worn out, you could lose without actually taking part. So it's like there's a stratagem there for sure.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, no one was rushed straight in there. Okay, we got to hang on.
Yeah, they're holding Rack back. He's like, I'm fucking going for it. I'm going to fucking get in there. And he's like, no, let's think this through. In the meantime, the dinosaur girl, I think it's Anna, she's just pressed the button and going like, yeah, we're going in. They have a sweet fight. She kicks everyone on the other team's ass all by herself. And your man in the tracksuit's like, brilliant. Now I'll sit in the chair. And she's just already sat in the chair and put the crown on. And he's like, what the fuck?
No, you're clearly the best. You have like a very rare sacred sword which has got an emblem on it. Also, that guy punched you in the head, but your dinosaur skull just broke his hand instead.
Yeah, I think you're probably the one to do this. And she's like, no, I'll just fight him off. So it's like, okay, that's it. So we know the rules in this game. We know she's the badass one. You expect the tracksuit guy to sit in the chair. It's like, no, she's going to sit in the chair. I'm like, okay, so it's doing things differently than you'd expect. I like that.
Well, but you're going to sit down with him with her like crazy whip thing. You're going to just like
whip people
swing it around and just keep everybody away for 10 minutes.
It does make a bit of sense, but yeah, it's pretty good. I did like the door test because it was like, okay, this is a little different than just battle royales, which the second part of it was. But I appreciated them going like, yeah, just here's a fucking mind game for you.
Yeah, I thought that was
being employed there, and I do believe that the actor who plays Naki is also a runway model. That's probably why this is the episode as well, that they had the flip. So you've got that. But we also see that they've got the old headsets, not the current ones. That gives you again nice bit of like the time scale of. There's been these different variations of humour gears. So presumably, under Hirobi's headband, there's these similar old style headsets that I don't think we've seen. Or maybe he revealed it once. Maybe at the start. Maybe he revealed it to show that he was a humour gear. So yeah, so now Naki is also not wanted by Thouser, and also notably when this fight goes on, and basically Naki says, "I'm not going to be a tool anymore." At this point, Yaiba just powers down and wanders off. Doesn't help Guy in the slightest.
Oh, everything's fine then.
And then the episode ends with her wondering about being a tool, because this episode we see, because she's got a chip in her brain, and Guy does something which causes her pain through that chip. So he's an all-round bastard, and I'm not sure now that he's ever going to be replaced as the villain in this show. I think he's the villain throughout, but it does seem that he's having his ass kicked every week now. So
he's going to have to get a power-up then, yeah. For sure.
It's been a while since anyone's had a power-up as well, except Fua/Naki. So we shall see where it's going, or rather we probably won't, because I think there's like a 6-week lead maybe on recording these, so we may have 4 episodes left, or they may just hold them back and wait. Because if all the cartoons are also going off, they may hold these back.
The one where you actually have people interacting with each other,
they may hold it back to come back at the same time that Prim's back. I've not looked into it, so I don't know. We shall wait and see. On to things we've all watched, though. Okay, I know, it's fine. I think we just lost the stream for a moment and then it came back.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, and that's the briefest bit of plot is basically the boss telling them that they've got to go and hunt the Kraken. That being said, loved it. Glad it's back.
Mm-hmm. I worry because of how much trouble it clearly is getting into by taking the piss out of the thing that puts it out.
Well, I think that's generally a reflection on how TV Tokyo itself treats itself. Because you remember the same things are in Late Night, the Genius Vagabond as well.
Yes,
that's true. I mean, like, if they're okay with that, then maybe I'm always worried it'll be fucking cancelled by just some exec going like, "Hey, stop taking the piss out of us. Get the fuck out of here."
Think of for whatever example. Think of how many times over the run of Simpsons that are taking the piss out of Fox and Fox News and everything like that, and they on Fox. So
yeah, I feel like that's like too big to fucking drop though. That kind of thing.
But maybe
is there much Wacky TV Nanana fucking merch out there? I don't know.
It's in its third season, so they're doing something right.
That's true.
We're getting the ratings in. You know, if we're just gonna like punch ourselves, everyone loves seeing that. Or well, they seem to anyway. Let's see. We gotta get Kraken on the air though to distract them a little bit.
They better get Kraken on the Kraken.
Bye.
Then we've got The Millionaire Detective, Episode 2. Love does much, money does everything.
I fucking love these titles, man. I fucking really
do. So wise.
It's not as hard on as the first one in terms of how it's going, but yeah, still good.
Yeah, but the thing with this episode, I thought, was is part of it a satire on the behaviour of the Japanese police force in the first place.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, himself buying his way into it is definitely like a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but particularly like the very Japanese interrogation scene we get.
Where he's like, think of your poor elderly mother.
Yeah, bringing old Koji to break this guy.
Interrogation is about getting into a man's heart with your heart, and it's just like he's just making him feel bad.
Yeah, so it starts off with they learn the death of a gravure model, and it turns out to be the favourite of. Hang on, I've written down everyone's names, so I can remember them. Except only for 3 shows so far.
And then the way the pervy guy was like, "Oh no, the model died," and he's like, "Whatever." Oh no, my favorite model died.
Yes, Haru Kato.
Kato is the main guy.
Kato is It turns out this was his favorite model, and so then him and Kanbei and they're out on the streets and they run into 2 entertainers.
Well, to set it up, your man's going like, "I'm just going to check on the regular, boring police work that we're doing," and your man follows him out. It's like, "I'm coming with you on the case. Yes. We're going to the scene of the crime," and everything. And he's like, "Oh, I can't stop you, damn it."
So there's a Manzai team doing a performance on the street, and it's very Yakuza because I just got out of that side story in Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Especially when Kanbei someone just sniffs out that these guys are on or dealing drugs.
Yes. So he gives them a bunch of money, and Kai's like, "No, you can't give them that much money because they need the encouragement of being poor, so they'll get better at their jobs."
Because they're obviously terrible at it, and he's like, "You guys are dealing drugs. You're clearly bad at comedy." And it's like, "Oh fuck, he's got us." So they take him down for questioning.
Yes, is it mescaline? And they immediately give themselves in. And yes, we get the difference in interrogation. Yes, so they bring the old guy in, who plays on one of them's love of his mother, whereas Kanbei's approach is, "How much? You name your price. I'll give you that much just to tell me who's your supplier."
Yeah,
but he's also he's using all the things, like he's reading the guy's name, he's looking at his bank account, he's reading his heart rate with his magic fucking glasses. Yes. It's just like, let me just see if this is working on you. So how much do you want? And tell me the seller.
Yes, and you're like, well, but then you're like, oh, I guess you'd pay off to have informants. And that literally is the thing we have later on that Kato has.
Like it does come around with that. Like I did like the fact that the old guy like gets the name by making the dude feel really bad, and then your man has the name like pretty much in very much the same amount of time, just because your man's checking his phone to see if the money has come through on his bank yet. It's like the money makes it work just as much as the emotional appeal.
But yes, also having glasses which may turn you into Daredevil also helps.
Yeah, it's true.
It very much is. What if Batman just decided to join the police force rather than be a superhero?
Yeah, but just like the obvious kind of comparison folks are making is, he's very James Bondy from the first episode, but in here it got more. No, this is like reminds me a little bit
He's
of
got a crime.
of seeing Bruce Wayne going around in that Batman Gotham Knight thing or something.
He's got a Batcave that is a crime computer and all that, and he has someone making the tech. It's like, that's a Batman.
He's got a big like fucking armored car that is somehow going to be a Batmobile.
Dear, that was a good bit as well, because obviously we have our guy doing regular real detective work, getting stinky in a car.
Yeah, he's got his boy. He's a photographer. You can get him all the scoops.
The guy, it's like, oh, why are you working for this guy? He's like, oh, he helped me out of a jam a while back, and I owe it to him, that kind of thing. And I'm the one who leaked all the sleazy fucking stories about the models getting killed early and shit. But you can come to this guy because this guy's a pro. Yeah,
they've traced it down that they're probably the main dealer or the main guys and the stuff on is like this handsome, very Instagrammable kind of like male model. He's done everything. He's so handsome. He's so nice.
Yeah, he's picking up all the best
parties.
The young girls, the young model girls, and he's like, hey, he's been with like 10 different, taking out 10 girls in a week, kind of thing. It's like, this guy's fucking. He's really connected to take him with all this stuff, and they actually catch him doing a deal. But what's the rich guy's name again? I'm gonna have to learn their names as well.
Kambe. He's saying what he's got there is only 95% pure. It's a bigger fish up the chain. We got to let this guy keep on going and follow him on and gets.
Yeah, we need to find his supplier. Basically, we need to keep tabs on him until we find who he's getting it from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and your man's kind of like, oh, I don't want to do it because I want to get this bastard now. But yeah, it does make sense. So he continues to get stinky in a car to the point where everyone in the show has to point it out how stinky he is from sleeping in his car for a week.
As well. Everyone has to sniff for the moment they get covered. Yeah, and he ends up following.
But he rolled down the window to his photographer friend, and your man's going like, yeah, I got the thing. And he kind of leans forward. He's like, oh, Jesus, dude, fucking take a shower.
You are ripe.
And the amount of takeout food and just the clothes slung over the chair. It's like, oh, God, how long has he been living in there?
Yeah, then there's this one woman that he keeps on noticing and follows her to what he thinks is this incredibly high-class restaurant.
It's a hotel or a restaurant. I mean, like, I thought I was driving in the countryside there for a while, but there appears to be a hotel here. That's weird.
And it turns out Kanbei's there as well.
And he's like, yeah, I saw this girl. She came in here. And he's like, yeah, And he's just there not commenting on this thing, but just
why are you here,
Kato? A bunch.
Why are you here? No, seriously, Kato, why are you here? Why are you doing here? How do you know to go out here?
And so he thinks it's like a members only restaurant, so they take this lift down. He thinks he comments that it's like very pretentious.
Yeah, because the guy kind of went to the waiter at the thing. It's like dinner for two kind of thing, He's just like, he owns the fucking place. Ridiculous fucking carry on, yeah.
And yes, rather than a restaurant, they end up in his bat cave, where his Robin is working.
A little something for later.
A little something for later. Yes, this is Suzue Hamada.
She's kind of like, what is this guy doing here? Also, he thinks, dude, do you need a shower? Did you take a homeless person home?
Yes, because when he storm out in a huff, and they're like, don't you want your meal? And you can have a bath as well.
They're really sympathetic to him.
We can run you a bath.
Yeah, it's okay, dude. I mean, like, if you're on hard times, it will sort you out. It's no bother.
She seems nice.
She seems nice. Nice up to the point where she's like, oh, by the way, I made that thing you wanted. And she flips over a tarp, and it's clearly, that a rocket launcher? And his grin says, oh, that's a rocket launcher.
Very expensive rocket launcher, yes.
Yeah, it's very illegal, except totally legal. It's all the licenses are paid for, and it was very expensive to get. Yeah. So that's a wonderful Chekhov's big fucking gun.
Yeah. To get the lead, then.
And the other Chekhov's gun though is the big
the Batmobile.
The big plush. The big plush.
Oh, that's right, the bear.
Police mascot. Yes.
Or it's a dog. Might be a dog. Yeah.
They got the lead that it's a guy further chain. He's a lieutenant in the Yakuza, or he's the head of this particular group of the Yakuza. So that's a guy we gotta take down.
His photographer friend has like the password to get into this exclusive party.
But he's
like, if we can get him.
But he specifically says you shouldn't go. That was like, that line makes sense.
Don't fucking go though. It'll be fine.
Yes, don't go. So they'll throw you in the sea with concrete over shoes.
Overalls? That's a bit extreme.
Yeah, but he finds somebody on that list, beats them up, and steals their clothes, kidnaps them. It's like
this person was going to the party seemingly dressed as the Riddler.
Yeah.
I mean, like everyone's kind of dressed like fancifully, and everyone has to wear like a mask to hide their identity. So it is one of those kind of parties.
They constantly refer to it as a drugs party.
Drug party.
But the drugs party has
I liked his
taken.
tiny hat. I figured he was hiding I thought he was hiding his gun or something under that stupid hat, but no, that was just part of the costume, so he went with it.
But you can't, just because a drugs party, he's got an invite to go to a drugs party. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to beat somebody up, tie them up, and steal their clothes.
What your man is doing is illegal, Detective Ward. What the other guy is doing is entirely legal, but it's really shifty because it's like, who the fuck is he paying off to do all this shit? Like, he had to buy that whole building.
Well, he's going to blow it up with a rocket launcher, so he's only paying the damages of his own insurance.
Yeah, but he still has to buy that building, and there's still, like, probably, like, medical expenses and whatnot. But, yeah. He robs a dude's mobile phone, the guy they're looking for, because it'll have all the contacts and everything in it. I did like the way the bouncer, like, patted him down, got all his stuff off him. And then as he's trying to casually leave, he's like, hey, dude, you forgot your stuff. He's like, oh, of course, you can just get that for me. And the guy's like, hey, where's my phone? And he's like, oh, gotta go. And tries to deck the
night,
dude.
bouncer.
And the bouncer's just like, no, I'm a bouncer. I can take a fucking punch. Now you're in trouble.
Can't be bottles him, or not. I can't be like a mascot suited character figure. Bottles the bouncer and knocks him out.
I love the way you could see the mascot getting like touched up in the background. That was really funny. Of the party, I mean, because you're like, okay, that's clearly like we established that earlier. It's in the party
as well.
It's really good.
It's panning over. It's all these like couches, neon lighting, people are off their faces. All these supermodels is draped over on everybody, and there's this what the hell? Okay, is that
mascot?
That kind of one of those parties.
Someone's into it. At least one person at that party is into it. Yeah. So the dog grabs the phone and does a fucking runner, and he's like, "Oh, you stupid idiot! You can't run upstairs. There's no way to get away." He's running blind. What a moron! Chases him upstairs, locks the door behind him. But the guy taking off the thing, it's his photographer friend. What the hell? And he's like, sorry, dude, only got one gas mask. Sorry. Puts it on. And he's like, what do you mean you only got one? Oh, Jesus, is that an attack helicopter?
Yeah, it's subtle detective work here. We got a very elaborate sting operation, or should I say stinger missile operation. They're not stinger missiles, they're actually just some kind of advanced warhead, but advanced multiple warhead. When you fire it off, it splits into multiple bits. It was burrow down to the roof onto the floor of the party. So these crazy purple knockout gas put everybody in the building to sleep. No loss of life. All it cost me was
what was the cost at the end of this? It was pretty high.
It was in the 300 million anyway.
Yeah. I do like the thing at the end. It's like, here's how much damage we did in this episode.
Yeah,
that's a fun little thing.
There was a release of the Dirty Pair one where I think the liner notes had a little tally of everything that they destroyed in a given episode. It was giving me nice memories of that.
Yeah. It's a fun idea, and it works pretty well in this. So yeah, he he caught the guy. He got his list. Everything's fine except for, God damn it, you can't solve everything with money. Although, like 2 episodes in a row, he's shown that he can actually.
Mm. Well, it is like it's showing a difference in approaches to it. There were and pros and cons to either of them. I just would naturally find this the way comedy goes about it be distasteful. It's like one trampling all over.
He kidnapped a dude.
It's just fucking trampling all over fucking everything. Any kind of semblance of law and order or civil rights or anything like that, and it's going to happen. Some point down the line, he's going to meet somebody that he can't buy, and then what's he going to do then?
Buy the guy above that guy.
Probably, yeah. It's probably like, he'll go back to his ultimate foe. He'll like still find a way to have money to work in his favor to do it. But it's a kind of a problem, an issue that I would hope that they would try and take on later on. You know, what would happen in the scenario when money can't solve everything? What will you do then?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what the other thing of it is, because they get into his man's background as well. Cambay asks him, "It's like, I know," because he didn't say I heard a rumor. He's like, "No, I bought the information that told me that you weren't kicked down from the forest. You you shot your thing at some case. An innocent person got hurt, and you basically went, I'm not fucking carrying a gun anymore." So he got busted down to crappy detective.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia. It looks like it's significantly different from the original novel. It looks like the bunch.
Is it much sillier?
I don't know. Probably not, because apparently in the novel there's a character who looks like Alfred E. Newman and most of the characters are described to look like specific actors.
Okay.
So there's one detective looks like Glenn Ford, one looks like Humphrey Bogart, one looks like Alfred Hitchcock. So it looks like he.
God damn it! I want to see that anime now.
Well, yeah. Well,
might see him soon.
This is apparently it was written in like the 50s, but only published in the 70s. There was a radio drama in the 70s, a comic in 85, and a live action as well, 2005. Yeah, so been adapted lots of times.
So there's lots of different versions of it.
Yes,
yeah.
And I think they have to keep on upping how much money he has.
Well, that's why it's Balance Unlimited now.
Yes, yeah.
You can't get more than infinite money. Double infinite. I was thinking how good this guy would be teamed up with F. Scott Fitzgerald from fucking Bungo Stray Dogs.
Unbelievable. You just punch the entire world.
So we've got another episode next week.
Yep, just jetting off to a symposium on crime and crime stoppage in Hong Kong.
The chief kind of going was like, "I need you to go to this police thing in Hong Kong for me. Could you do that?" I was like, "I know it's a bit out of the way." And he was like, "Yeah, fine, whatever." It's like, "Okay, Canby will see you there." And he's like, "What?" And he's on a private jet. He's like, "What?" It's really, really funny stuff. He's been led around the place, yeah.
There we got listeners, episode 3, You Made Me Realise. In which it's the My Bloody Valentine episode.
Sure is. as they will inform you in every second sentence.
Yeah,
perhaps, that was really funny to me. They kept quoting fucking lyrics. I love that.
They were really obnoxious a lot of the time.
It felt like two people who have they're both in on the in thing, so they're both like quoting shit to each other. It was really funny to watch as a show, I think, for me.
But they're just doing it around Moo and Echo when they're showing them around their floating castle fortress, and they just keep dropping the lines in there. Like this, but it's being really obnoxious about it. But yes, I've listened to some things. Here's a little quote from it.
It's not just
as great philosopher Pat Benatar once opined, love is a battle.
Yes, but I think it might be other bands as well, because the Chelsea Girl thing is a ride song, not a My Bloody Valentine, but another shoegazing band.
Reference to the same genre,
yeah. Because that's what Berlin Valentine, the night.
Could you not go with something else? Like, God damn it.
Like, it wants you to fully understand.
Name their last name Cupid or something, something related, you know.
Next week we get Kim Gordon as the headmistress of a school where Kurt Cobain goes. So.
All right.
It's going to happen all the time.
I know,
it's
I
not gonna
know.
be subtle
I'm
about
just,
this.
I really wanted to be subtle, but this is not the show for that.
No.
I too enjoy popular music.
Guy Sato.
I would
was
say
that?
hello, fellow kids, but hello, fellow Gen Xers.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's very much it. Yeah, so obviously they're named for Kevin Shields and Belinda Butcher from My Bloody Valentine, and we learned that Kevin was supposed to be the king of Liverchester, I think, and then Liverchester blew up during this
He was
festival.
on his way to the big concert to kill all the earless, but then it already fucking went down before he even got there, so he got in real trouble for it.
Yes, and so he locked him. He's locked himself in his room. Well, the past 4 years. So presumably he was doing other stuff before. He decided to lock himself in his room for 4 years, which may be the most. Is that how long it took him to make the long gap between?
I think he was in for 10 years before he reconnected with the rest of the band after they went their separate ways. Yeah, he was gone for a while.
Yeah.
So it's a thing he's known to do. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was a 3-year gap between Isn't Anything and Loveless, and then a incredibly long gap between Loveless and MBV. Yeah, 22-year gap.
Jeez.
22 even. Oh gosh. I think maybe he got back with them at 10 years, but they were still that long again. The remainder actually before releasing the thing. Better late than never, huh?
Yep.
Someone knows. Daisato knows at least.
He does. And so yeah, it's kind of a lot of it is Kevin talking to Echo and Berlin talking to Mew, and it's kind of like, we didn't bring you here to save you or protect you. We came to
Basically arrest you?
Yeah, put you into custody to determine whether or not you're as dangerous as Jimmy Stonefree was.
It's the third of the episode. She just kicks the ass of those dead girls, isn't it?
Yes, it is. The start of the episode, yeah.
I was kind of surprised. I was like, whoa, she just fucking walked right through those guys. Mean to the data guys.
But I guess that's also playing with like, oh, they're definitely an influence on that band was definitely an influence on the shoegazing scene, but the shoegazing was like, this is a version of this music which was actually popular
outside of like Germany and whatnot. Yeah.
So yeah, you still got it's like the idea of, because they say that they're using the noise generated from the earless to find similarly trying to find the broken parts and things of the players' machines which got destroyed when Jimmy Stonefree blew up Liverpool. And we see like a flashback, and we see like McGee the mayor was organising that festival. And
it was also Woodstock.
It was it was all sorts of stuff. Yes. So yeah, we see like okay, that's why he's particularly annoyed at it. It's because it's partly he probably feels guilty that he organised the festival in the first place, but mainly because Jimmy Stonefree went rogue apparently during the festival.
He kicked shit off before it had started, seemingly.
Yeah, and the similar sort of energy and that Mew produces, and the core thing is the same as he's got, but he had rather. Anyway, yeah, Echo and Kevin finish building. What do they call the amp in the end?
Oh, it's like a technical name. It's like AC something something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of the name now.
So there's lots of talk between the pair of them, and like mainly discussing the relationship between Mew and Echo, because Mew wants to leave Echo behind because she thinks he's in danger and she's not good enough to protect him. And it's kind of making them realise that they're a team, they're in this together. They've both got to go forward together, like Kevin and Berlin have. And so I like the bit at the end where everything's happy and they're both together, and then now Kevin and Berlin are like, right, now you can fight us because we need to find out whether you're an angel or a devil.
Yeah, we weren't going to kick your ass till you were ready. So now that you're ready, let's go.
And they kick their ass, but they're happy that they don't pose an immediate threat. But if we are going to let you go, you need to go to each of the city-states, which have all the players who are ruling their own like little city, and they've locked themselves away from each other, and they've all got different secrets to the ones we've got. And if you go to speak to them all, you might find out what exactly was going on with Jimmy Stonefree and the energy that he used.
And maybe yourself.
And we can solve this mystery. I just find this really charming. It's another show where I just really like all the character designs, and I have to say I do like all the musical references.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, but again, it's nice, even though they're being obnoxious with it, it is making me like think. But oh yes, this is a band I haven't thought about in a while, and they're letting me know all their hit albums and singles and lyrics. But then it makes me go out and look and read up and remind myself about said music things as well. So, like as mentioned, like last time, it's just kind of playing on two different affections or hobbies there. One for like nice animation, anime, and another for like the music of your youth or otherwise.
Yes, I mean, yes, we've not even got to bands I like yet. And next week, I imagine how much I'm going to like next week's.
Yeah, it's as you say, it's just kind of like perfectly just kind of charming. It's one of those things that I wouldn't say I've been like just kind of really blown away by it very much so far, but
it's been very enjoyable though. Yeah,
it's still really enjoyable, you know. Yeah, just a lot of interest is just in like how brazen they're going to be in the names they're going to drop in it.
Well, I mean, like if JoJo was just the weird fucking reference that this character is going to be, it wouldn't be that great a show. But there's a good show around it, and I think this is not. It's similar as a show to JoJo. It's just that it's like you say, Brian, it's well animated. The characters are nice, and you kind of like them. And it's just like, yeah, I'm not too invested in the mystery because the mystery is this weird Gen X fucking rock world you've created. But I'm having fun enough time with it that I think I'll stick around.
Yeah, I think this and the Appare-Ranman are my favourite character designs. I think.
Definitely. They were memorable.
Yeah. They especially this more so than Appare-Ranman. This is very much so like fashion designers designed it, which I mean, like obviously it's coming off of a load of old styles and everything, and I guess that's why it has that feel more so. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but if you see that character design on the website and the promotion materials, it's like, when is that dude going to show up?
Yeah,
because then the mission wants to hang around then, and like especially as well when they're like interpretation of a real world figure, you want to see what kind of little details and what kind of little things they're going to put in there to make them
particularly
stand out.
Some of the older characters, like who are they representing? Because I know Shigeru Chiba's got a character coming up. He's one of the older characters. I was like, yeah, definitely want to hear. Also, whenever Shigeru Chiba shows up, I want to know which Shigeru Chiba voice he's going to be using. They're all good, but it's always exciting to hear which one's going to come along.
I did like the ending as well. They are going to mix it up each time. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yep. It's interesting to see that same animation you saw in the episode is like recomposited and put into different effects. It's like, oh yeah, they could have like if they really wanted to, they could have like chosen like any of these visual styles for it. It would have been equally as a viable move to make. Well, viable, but interesting to look at move.
Yeah.
I think, despite this being the music show, I think I like the music best on Millionaire Detective. The opening and the ending, and probably the incidental as well. On to Appare-Ranman, episode 2, In the Dark, in which we're in Los Angeles, not San Francisco. I picked the wrong West Coast city. So, yeah, they're okay. They can stay in the storage space because they're going away through the Panama Canal, so free to use this storage space until someone wants to rent it out.
And then fuck off. Like this ship captain is being remarkably accommodating to this rude Japanese man.
Well, he's accommodated. I think he likes Appare.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because they've probably.
Whereas this other guy's like, please take me back to Japan. I'll work as a sailor and a cook. And he's like, we have sailors, we have cooks, and why the fuck would I take you there? You fuck off. and then we go back at minus one fucking crew member. That's dumb as shit.
Yeah. Also, like Appare can do stuff. He can like fix engines and shit. What can you? How can you do?
Yeah, exactly. It's like this guy's skills are way more valuable.
I can polish a sword. I can I can cut through like a big rolled up thing of rice. Test the sharpness with a blade. Okay.
Speaking of skills, they do have to go get jobs, and he has to insist that he goes get a job, and he just does it. Harry does it like a big fucking shit.
That scene is so funny. When the guy goes, "Oh, afraid I we don't, there's not enough work for taking you on." It's like, well, that's great. That suits me perfect because I don't want to do a lot of work.
As long as you pay me, it's fucking
just
grand.
pay me, and that never ask for.
Hey man's just looking at him. It's like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, but I stumbled upon a ruse after seeing some dudes in the park at a similar act. Said, "Hey,
the same
right
fucking
up."
act. They just rip him off.
Yes, they just charge like 5 cents less, don't they?
Yeah, and also they have big letters samurai. It's like, try and hit this samurai. It's like, ooh, rather than trying to hit the local boxer. And he's just, I love the way he was sitting across on the park bench going like, motherfucker.
It was a nice way though to first of all, give them to make some ways who can move on to the next stage of their little plan or journey here, and also show off how Kusama, he's actually, for all of his kind of meekness,
stick in the mudness,
kind of meekness, kind of like that. He's pretty dab hand at the old sword play and fighting. You can dodge like a master. And hit a guy.
And then when you look back at this scene after you see the final revelation about him of like something else in his background that we weren't aware of, you're like, okay, yeah, this is more than his sword play is more than just like trying to hang on to the past. There's something else deeper going on there with his attachment to his swords. And as we learn in the final scene, that he can't bring himself to actually draw his swords because of something which happened when he was a child. And you get a bit more.
It seems to be involving guns. Yeah.
Yeah, around this time they also run into the Native American kid, who's looking for somebody with a tattoo on the back of their neck. And
he still hasn't joined them yet, but he's there. Yeah.
Yes. This is like the episode where it's just trying to drive home some of the attitudes of the day.
Like, it again, everyone speaks the same language because it's just fucking easier. Let's not think about it. But there's definitive fucking racism and also definitive fucking sexism. Because it is the past, and it's not like we got rid of those now anyway.
Yeah, so they get a bunch of money. Then Appare sees a parade of cars, and one of the cars is purple and weird, and instantly attracted, follows the cars there. Let's go and spend all this money that Kusami's earned by going to the Speedway. So they've got some money left. So yeah, Appare is absolutely fascinated by the Speedway, and then also by the announcement of this. Well, they picked up a flyer, but they get an explanation once they get there of this Trans-America race.
And I think he likes the Speedway because for him, and it's like, it's clearly not for everyone else. Like, there are top guys here and everything, but for him, it's like, wow, the machines are the stars of the shows here. It's like, nah, dude, it's the racers.
Yeah, but it's a novelty for him because he knows the machines he's making at home, and now it's sort of used to frivolously for a sport for just the purpose of betting, and it's like, wow, this everyone is all into this. Like,
and it's the fastest car wins, so that appeals to him, obviously.
Oh, the other reason why the captain likes him so much is because he paid him with that clockwork doll that the captain was so enamored with.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna get a fuckload for this.
Well, I'm not sure he wanted to sell it. I think he just liked it. So the way he was holding it seemed to suggest
it could be. Yeah, I mean, like, this was this was around the time there was the big what's that freaking movement where everyone was really interested in Japanese art stuff. I can't think of it. Japanese like mania, basically. Where like silks were getting traded and everyone wanted to wear fucking kimonos in Europe and that kind of shit.
Well, it's just a straight up Orientalism, but I think Japanism. Yeah,
I think that
French
might be.
first pop.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So they get the Speedway. We get a glimpse of I can't remember the guy's name. the guy who drives the purple car and also drives the purple car while carrying two pistols.
Johnny
strapped
Two
to-
Guns. I'm going to call him Johnny Two Guns.
Dylan G. Orden, I think
That's
it's
it,
that
yes.
guy.
Okay.
And
He's a racer of Big Boss Industries.
yes, who have put up
I
the
love that.
1 point whatever it is $1 million that if you win this race.
Isn't like you can win the car or something as well?
Yeah, I
Like he
think-
was
yes.
putting up the car as part of the bet.
Yeah.
Or something. And your man's like talking to the press, but the press are more interested in talking to the racer. But the racer's like, just talk to the fucking guy. I don't want to talk to you guys.
Oh, yeah. This next bit is where they meet the kid because they're in that restaurant discussing.
Yeah, you're right.
They're discussing. He's basically getting Kasame on board of like, well, I want to take part in this race, and if we take part in this race, and if we win this race, then we'll get this $1 million, and then you'll be able to go back to Japan.
You'd be able to charter a ship.
sorry,
Either that or you could work it your ass off for 10 years. I mean, like, if you don't want to come on, I only need to build a car with one seat, right? And he's like, fucking two seats, one for me. I would also like some money, please.
Specifically, though, he says we can go back to Japan, which I suspect is not what Appare has planned. But
yeah,
we'll see where we are at the end. So then he's convinced Kasame to go back to the track at night, so they can look at the cars.
We'll just have a look. And he's breaking in. It's like, you said we'll just have a look. Yeah, we'll have a look at the cars. We can't see the cars from out here, can we, fucker?
We're just going to look at the outside of the cars.
Your man's been dragged so much, like, he's so uncomfortable with everything. It's really funny.
It is, and particularly when he puts his thief mask on and starts skittling around making skittering noises.
It looks even more suspicious.
The noises he does.
He gets just tripped up by the phrasing of things. It's like takes it too literally, or Appare will take it like way literally. And one say, "Well, I said that, but I meant this," which is also a correct way to interpret that. One said, "You're not technically incorrect, but you're not right either."
Yeah, then Appare needs to go and find some light so he can look at these cars better. And then Kasame hears a car driving and then realises, someone's on the track, and Appare's wandering onto the track to get a light, completely oblivious of this car. And the car has to swerve, and it's the Chinese woman we'd seen earlier at the Speedway. And she's panicking that the car's damaged, so she's going to have to quit her job. And then we get her.
Because they'll fire her for this because she wanted to be part of the racing thing, but women can't race. So she was like, I'll still work as part of the team, but I want to abide by racer rules. It's like, I can't do a thing a racer shouldn't do. I was just driving it to blow off some steam. And it's like, I'm totally fucked after this stuff.
Yeah, it was a good statement of her principles there. We're like, if the rules don't suit you as Appare, so just fucking break them. Just fuck it. Why do you care? It's like, well, I'd rather not be a racer the right way than to be a racer the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yes, where Appare, I think Appare is like, particularly because he's addressed the culture shock of seeing those steamboats when he was younger, and that's like, we're in the modern age now. Let's full speed ahead. Everything can change. Whereas, there's a degree of like, she still wants to do things by the system. Even though
she admired the racers, so she didn't want to. She admired the system in its own way, even though it's a system that doesn't want her as part of it.
Clearly, we know something will change because we've seen her in the first episode driving her own car. And so then she goes. So next, when she's back home, she like asks her mother if she's fine with her taking over the laundry business. But then when she gets back...
and herself and the dad is kind of like, oh, yeah, you have to get married and inherit the business. And she's like, yeah, cool, okay, let me just go to work and get fired.
Yeah, she goes home and says, I'm sorry, I took car number 4 out and damaged it. And the guy said, what are you talking about? Car number 4's out, it's driving better than ever.
Yeah, it's set a new fucking record, so... And she's like, what the fuck? And when the boss is like, yeah, go on, fucking get back to work. What are you talking about? You must have had some weird dream. And she's like, okay.
Those guys. And then meanwhile, those guys hear violence going down an alleyway. And there's a bunch of guys threatening our kid again. And they pull a gun on them. And Kasame's not going to have any of that. But when he goes to fight them, he can't bring himself to pull his sword. And they start mocking him and pointing the gun at him. But then the gun gets shot out of the assailant's hand by our friend Dylan, who is really annoyed that people are making this much noise around him. It's really screwing with his buzz.
Trying to get my drink on over here. You guys are making a commotion.
I know they're taking the time to get to the wild and wacky races, but I kind of preferred it in this episode because the first episode was like, oh, can't wait to see all these mad bastards, and then it kind of went, oh, okay. But this one was because it'd been set up as like, okay, we're going to get the race eventually. I was enjoying just hanging out with the characters more than the first one, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what's a race without stakes? We need to know what those stakes are for everybody, or personal or otherwise.
And also, this is another one which is going on hiatus after episode 3, so it's going to be a long time before we get to those races.
That's fine. It's fine.
You could consider this your winter anime preview.
Yes.
In most of these, if ever, winter of next year.
That's fine. That's the right way to do it. And I mean, like, it not watching more of this for ages is fine by me because it's kind of like, yeah, this is good. I'll know to fucking keep this on my radar and not let it fucking go by me as I had up to this point.
Yeah, it's been coming out more and more this year in the week that the old anime are scheduled to be coming out in July and October are really considering delaying it.
Yeah, because they're not sure of the upper limit of how long we need to keep this up. So.
Yeah, it's just a knock-on effect as well because we've already had like studio time for voice recording. That's kind of holding up on one side. That's been pushed to a stop as well. I think another dude saying while we mess up is that the compositing that's already always put in the back burner. So when things resume, every studio, every in-betweening house in the country is going to be up the walls, getting out everything that's meant to come out, and also the need to consider what's coming out after that for the other seasons. Yeah, everything's going to be pushed ahead.
I'm hoping like a lot of stuff doesn't get rushed crazily because like the quality of animation will suddenly fucking dip considerably. But worse still, obviously people get fucking overworked and fucking damage themselves, and that's no good, especially after everything's been so shit for so long.
Yeah. With some high-profile incidents of that nature in the industry in recent memory, so I can't imagine this would be anything that they would want. So it's going to heap more of the pressure out from them. But I would hold out and pray for some kind of compassion, or
it's like we're trying to get shit back to some reasonable amount of normal. So let's fucking take it easy to get there.
If we're thinking big picture stuff as well, maybe this could actually make some kind of lasting change for the better. Hoping not that it doesn't get the worse, certainly. So. But my mission could consider maybe we can't actually put out this much shit in a year. We need to kind of maybe whittle this down a bit to a manageable number, because if this happens again, and it probably will happen, maybe at a declining or variable rate over this few years anyway, you're going to get something like this until it's like maybe if it makes people figure out it's like we need to have this much in the can and ready to fucking go, and therefore to not just be like doing it week by week nearly, like, or just ramp down some of the productions you got going on there, because do we really need I know this light novel is selling pretty well, but it's fairly boilerplate stuff. Does this really need an expensive TV show made about that will probably do fairly mediocre in the ratings?
Well,
do we really need to focus on that right now?
Well, I was going to say the record company on the production committee will say, yes, I've got records to sell, so get cracking.
Yes.
Okay, that would be a great segue, but not into the next show. Wave, listen to me.
Oh, yeah. I'll get that too.
Episode 3, You Are All Soft.
I'm loving this show insulting me constantly. That's really cool.
This had my two favourite jokes in the week. The extended bit of her realizing that she's not a super competent drunk.
That was fucking great. Oh, that was because the setup for that, I was like, where is this fucking shit going? At the start of this episode, but yeah, really funny places is where it's going.
Yeah,
I don't have my life together. Oh my god.
This drunk has the scales peeled back from their eyes. It's like seeing the Matrix.
You're kind of a clusterfuck. Sorry. Sorry, we had to get the police involved.
And then my other favourite one is the bit where she's like, women aren't just after fame. Not all women are after fame. This is what I'm after. Then she makes the sign for money, and then your guy pulls out, a yokai medal. And it's not the pulling out the yokai medal. It's the fact they animated it, purposely put it back into his pocket, to establish that it wasn't just like a random gag. He actually had a yokai medal.
No, he has a yokai medal on him. He has a photo of that actress and yokai medals and probably some Pogs and Pokemon cards or a bunch of fucking shit in these pockets. Yeah.
So every fight in the street, just sticks it in there.
Yeah.
Come in handy.
Yeah, it's just
they had to censor that, and they had to censor the clearly
Chupa
not
Chups.
off-brand Chupa Chups. Yeah, yeah.
But I think he said Chupa Chups in the dialogue, but it wasn't translated, which is perfect because obviously he's got a Dali moustache, the manager at the restaurant. So Dali designed the logo that was being hidden out. So it's basically this is the episode where she has to go and get the job at the radio station when she's fired because the advertisement was for the stall, which the manager did not give a toss about. Why weren't you advertising the restaurant?
That's just like a once a year thing. The restaurant is all fucking year round. Advertise the fucking fine. You knew I was gonna fire you anyway, though.
Yes.
So.
And she can't afford all the upcoming bills she needs to pay in her apartment.
And her car has to get NCT or whatever. Yeah.
The other guy offers for her to stay around his, and she makes this long speech about how this isn't going to happen. And then as she's wandering off, this is the last time we're going to see each other, unless I really hit rock bottom, in which case I'll be at your door.
There's a few the things revealed in here that's like, hey, you know the manager's gay, right? He wants to make it like a dude only space. That's why he's constantly grabbing celebrity guys' butts and the thing. I did notice he was grabbing the guy's butt in the opening. That shot of the whole cast.
Yeah, I think it was like the photos are normal, but then he sort of puts his arms around any men in the photos.
He gets a bit touchy.
Reminded me, if you ever looked at the Twitter feed of the guy who produced I've forgotten the full name of it now. The show last year with the different directors each episode.
Fucking.
Rinchi Koda-chan.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
the photos on his Twitter feed are not as fragrant as the manager is suggested here, but it's like all the actresses they're just there in the photo with him. Any actors he's with, giving a big hug.
Fuck's sake.
Which may explain why you only do male directors to pick for that show.
Yeah, but I did like her kind of thing of like knowing that the dude is into her, but like playing off of that, where she's like, I wouldn't work out. I sleep in the nude. I couldn't stay at yours. He's like, oh, me too. And he's like, fucker, that was a test. You fucking failed.
Creep, nude dude.
Yeah, what was a nickname for him that's like the word for nude or something? That's what I'm going to call it from now on. It's a really funny exchange anyway. Between just like, listen, I know you fancy me and I don't fancy you, but if I'm desperate, yes, I will fucking stay with you and maybe do some sex. I don't fucking know. Bye forever, maybe? It's a good bit.
Yeah, and so eventually she ends up living... Well, they put her in a storage room, but...
she comes up with all her stuff like on her back.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but just the important stuff. That being the complete breast of a glass mask, the comic.
Well, I have to bring that.
Everything the girl needs.
Yeah, that was pretty good. He's kind of like, the fuck are you doing? And he's like, okay, we got to talk to you about the job, actually. So it's not so much an interview, more so he's telling her how it's fucking going to go down.
Yes.
And she realizes that it's like, okay, maybe this seemed like too good a thing because it's a really shitty time slot, even though they're getting rid of a popular show to bring her show in.
Well, a bit
or
of
a long-running show, maybe
yes.
not popular. Yeah, long-running.
They're reducing its run time. And the popular program is a show which has no DJs. They just play music. And
then play the jingle.
Every 10 minutes they play the jingle.
Mm-hmm.
I like the 80s that they're just like, okay, here's like a copy of the Radio Times. Okay, where are we? Here? We'll keep going down. Down. No, further down. Keep going, down. There you are.
That's a shitty slot. It's like, you're fucking nobody. You're lucky to be getting a slot at all. But he does explain his thing. Is like, hey, see, you look like that actress. And also, it's not her inflection. Her mannerisms or something reminds
something
him of
like
this.
That.
Sorry, not actress. Comedian.
Comedian, yes. And you look a bit like her, and you sound a bit like her. but other people will explain more about her, not me.
I'm leaving it a mystery.
Yes.
Because I'm a weirdo who carries around yokai medals in my pocket.
Hey, he's the most relatable character in this to
Cares
me.
about yokai medals.
A guy in his 40s wandering around with yokai medals in his pocket. There's nobody I can relate to more. Yeah, then she ends up staying with what job does she do? The other lady.
Oh,
She's the assistant director.
Yeah.
Assistant director. Thank you. Because she gives her backstory. She came out of like school doing the school radio thing, and she was surprised at like some of the old fashioned stuff, like the fax machines and everything. But a lot of the older guys still like to fax in their requests for songs. And she's kind of like just taking it in her stride as like, this woman's going to live with me. And your one's like, wow, this is pretty nice. I mean, like, I couldn't stay in that storage unit. I'd die if I didn't have heat until April. It's like, is she going to stay with me until April? Fuck. She's kind of shitting herself. What have I gotten myself into now?
But yeah, we kind of she gets some of the like lies that she's been told up to this point removed. Of like, oh yeah, that she's just remembering the 3-second thing and the 8-second thing. It's, oh no, don't worry, it's nowhere near as stringent as that. And it's like the listeners, people who write in tend to just compliment, and if you make a mistake, they just send in encouraging words. They don't, and then she's like,
radio. People who listen to radio are much nicer than other media.
Where she's like, I'm going to turn this place into an inferno of complaints.
She's giving out when your one's like, oh no, he wouldn't have got fired for that. We would have just had a meeting. It's like, hey, don't do that again, buddy. And she's like, what? That's fucking too soft. You should have got fired. Like, what the hell? Calm down.
But then we also get like some idea of like her appeal is that she's a woman who says things that other women want to say but feel they can't say. It's like,
I loved when your one was like, oh, when you said, I'll hunt you down and kill you. That's what I want to do. You mean it's what you want to say? It's like, yeah, sure. The idea that she says it like makes it feel like, yeah, I could go do that thing.
It's the idea that people can live vicariously through her rants is the thing that's going to appeal.
Because even your one saying is like, listen, I'm actually, I'd never had like a steady boyfriend or anything, but I feel you, man. I feel like wanting to beat up a fucking guy for fucking you over.
Keep it that way. Men are scum.
Actually, I'm scum too. Women are scum too. Everyone's scum. I'm an awful person. Yeah, she's still a good main character despite her like really not having her life together.
Thus, not everybody has their life together. Not entirely anyway.
She's trying to get it together. She's got her foot in the door anyway, so that's more than most of us.
I think we've all like have been at this stage or kind of relate to some of the stage. There was David Brothers was saying on Twitter that when Evangelion came out and streaming last year, and people were more relating to Miss Sato was, oh yes, she's kind of like this similar screw up, kind of mid to late 20s, hasn't quite got her act together yet, and people were kind of
is kind of a fuck up, is not doing a good job of it. Yeah.
This is like a similar vibe I think they're pulling off of this here.
I do. I'm not quite sure when it's supposed to be set. That's the only thing. It's like,
they haven't really like. Obviously, they're still using fax machines and whatever, but there's
that's
no
Japan. That could be today.
That's Japan.
No. That's a lot of businesses as well. Anyway, but like they're not like leaning on the mobile phone and stuff. I guess your one was running the blog for them. But again, that could be a bit old fashioned as well. Yeah,
it's at least when internet access seems to be fairly commonplace.
Yeah,
I don't know when it started. Wave, listen to me. It's just like some of the references seem like it's been running since 2014. Okay, so it's still relatively modern. I just wonder whether sometimes the references are the reference of the author, not the reference that somebody who's 26 years old would make.
Yeah, but even in 2014, who was making references to the Matrix? Let's be real here.
Oh no, I was thinking of the other thing, the thing which sounds like something which is like a 1985 thing specifically. There's like a phrase which said during the meeting where they're deciding about the time slot and things, and it triggers like a flashback to it sounding like some sort of 1985 TV show or a record or something.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, that feels like the author's reference, not her reference. which occasionally is a problem. See Baby Driver, or don't, because you don't like Kevin Spacey. Yeah.
Watch around him, basically.
Watch around him, but Baby Driver
Yeah.
is full of things where it's like, those aren't the things that character would be into. Those are the things which Edgar Wright is into.
Yeah, if it was set in the past, it would have made more sense.
Because I'm into them as well, because I'm the same age.
Hey, that young man is an old man.
Yes.
I can fucking see you're past you.
He's a baby. He's a man driver.
Yes.
An old man driver.
It didn't track well with audiences. Old
Yeah,
man driver.
that was the only thing which threw me off. I was like, yeah, why are you a 20-year-old man making?
I mean, like, they
things?
tried to do that with the guy who raised him was like a lot of an older dude.
That's
so it's like
true.
He was into older music,
But
that kind of way.
specifically for the music to be making sounding like Kid Koala, another man in his 40s. It was like, yeah, that was the only bit which didn't work for me in that film. And but there's less because I'm not the same culture to Hiroaki Samura. Maybe that it's just occasional glimpses of that is going to come through.
Right.
Unlike listeners, where it's fine, give me all of that, feed me more.
Well, listeners is being so fucking blatant. about it,
Exactly,
you can't
yes.
not. Yeah, it's fine.
It's good, but yeah, this is good as well. And boy, I'll say the thing which made me laugh the most this week, outside of a 1989 live-action magical girl show, but we'll get to podcast about that on Sunday.
Ooh.
Then finally, we've got Gallon Dino episode 3, going shopping and going out and about. This was the first thing I've watched, and all I can remember is the warm pleasantness of watching it and a cowboy hat.
Going shopping is she's going to her work, which is in a shop,
In the
and
company.
the dinosaur also goes to the shop to pick up some crap.
It doesn't really know what it's getting, but
It's just out
some
going
Odin
shopping.
from the hot counter.
It picks up some Odin because it's eating that Odin in the next section. It was like nearly like a through line.
It opens with her giving him a key, isn't it?
Yes, that's right as well. Because she's heading out and she sees he's heading out as well, and he's like, "Oh, you'll need the fucking spare key then."
Don't read into it. It just had a spare head lying around. Don't read into it.
Don't read into the key ring having the scooter.
Oh, his fucking his imagination was just like, "Oh, I know what this is. Tragedy. Love affair. And she's like, "What the fuck are you thinking right now?"
And it's not only that he wanders into the shop; he wanders into the shop with one of her bags over his shoulder.
Just want to show it off, but you're not rocking it. Don't even.
It doesn't suit you, bro.
I thought it suited him.
It looked good.
She didn't think so, and I would defer to her experience in this area.
That's
I mean, he's blue and it was pink. It wasn't the kind of blue and pink that match that kind of way.
Yeah, but I just like the image of this dinosaur wandering around, just having a good old time being a dinosaur.
Yeah, just chilling around. It's doing the outside wandering around that I want to do right now, and it appealed to me for that reason.
And then she's imagining that when she finishes his hour, she's going to have earned this amount of yen, and then she has to do a recalculation after she's paid for the Odin, the dinosaur.
But then she, like, in front of the receipt, she sees like the dinosaur happily enjoying it, and is like, "Oh, that's fucking worth it." Yeah. Just the thought of making him happy is good enough for her to get less money.
And he orders the most boring Odin as well.
Yeah, because she's like, "Get the fucking spicy stuff. Get some fucking sausage in there," you know. And he's just like, "No way."
Such a basic bitch dinosaur. Just come on.
And that does lead into the next section where he's eating the Odin at home, and he's trying the bits, and he can't quite pick up the egg, you know, that kind of stuff. The boyfriend comes along after he's filled it with the hot sauce rather than the regular sauce that he likes, which was a fun bit.
In the second half is when she goes round the house of her co-worker to look at their dinosaur encyclopedia.
Yeah, because her co-worker's initially like, "She's a Scaaary Gyaru," and it's like, the fuck? No, she's grand. Just talk to her.
Hey, senpai, you have a brain.
You have a brain.
What
What
kind
did
of
they tell
dinosaurs
you about
are there?
dinosaurs in college? And she's like, they don't really do dinosaurs in college. And it's like, what do you think dinosaurs eat? It's like, I don't know, like they're vegetarians and meat eaters as well. It's like, what do you think that one eats? She points out to her dinosaur walking around.
Oh wow! Check it out.
Oh,
Dinosaur
shit, a
in the street.
dinosaur.
I don't know actually. It's very cool, very not unusual thing to see every day.
Yeah, he says like, I'll look it up in the encyclopedia dinosaurs. She's like, you got one of those? I'm coming over to your house for dinner. She meets the parents. The parents fucking love her.
Well, they love you. You're way more fun than our nerd daughter.
I was like, is the daughter going to be reacting to this? It's like, no, she's not really taking it in, seemingly.
No, she is supposed to. How about we stop talking about Kaide and we go to that encyclopedia?
That's true. She does cut him off from complimenting her so goddamn much. Ugh, also, it made me fucking jealous because they had the croquets and I fucking love those.
They look pretty sweet. Oh, I got some chicken defrosting right now. I'm fry it up, bread it with some katsu tomorrow. Anyways, enough about that.
Anyway, yeah. They look it up. She's very frustrated. It's not in the thing, but she thanks them for a lovely meal and a lovely time. They welcome her back anytime. And she's like, oh, my coworker's actually okay. She's Scaaary, but she's cool. So that's nice. All of this show is nice except for the last fucking shot.
The second shot is him going out to the park, taking a ride on a boat, getting bothered by cats.
He's in the background, he's in the foreground, he's moving around on like a static shot, and eventually he falls asleep and the cats are eating his lunch. Good stuff.
Yep. And then the second half, they're also going shopping and going out and about by doing a comedy jump. Oh, he gets a new keyring as well, doesn't he, at some point?
From some kids.
Yes.
Yes.
Doing
merch
this
from
bit,
the
yes.
show.
Yes.
From the kids in the show.
Yes.
Blah.
And which they complain, why isn't there merch of me, kind of, the live action kind of does.
That's pretty good.
They jump and they do is this a comedy show? They climb up to the roof, do a jump, and also they're in a park. Now this is the bit which really made me jealous, but also the fact the park was super empty. So it's like, if I go out and they just do a whole bunch of stuff in the park. We get a little flashback of him. He doesn't want to go in the sea because he's been watching a documentary on sharks.
Too real, man.
But
they go to a fish market. They pick up some nice thing, and she's like, "Hey, how come you can eat fish when you're scared of sharks?" And it's like, it's just different, I guess. Fun time.
And then we got the fish. What else while we're here, how about we go hat shopping?
Oh yeah, he wants to look at the leather stuff shop.
Yes.
Stetson, that could be a bold choice. Not quite for you. This much more garish shot. This is more your speed, I reckon. I'm a gal, I would know.
A shop for manly men.
And he's just dancing. He's posing around with these hats, giving us all the angles. Some good suit work by the fella inside it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the show is very boring, but like you say, it's very nice. In a good way.
It's the little things. Just all through, well, not all through, most of the way through that. Said we were going to the fish market. I was just looking at the onlookers, the bystanders, and they're like half of them going, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
that was really fun as well. Yeah.
There was like a guy in the fish stall across away from the stop having microphone said, this is so funny, the dinosaur was here right now. But then alternately when they're walking through, you had a guy with a sign over his back of his head saying, no photos. I do not agree to be in this.
Yes, it suddenly became like man on the street type business, but with it might have been like you might get like a schools program of like, here's how the fish shop works.
Yeah. Yeah, very much fucking Teletubbies again kind of fucking footage of the box factory.
But money can be exchanged for goods and services, including fish.
But Teletubbies does not normally end with a sinister-looking man standing outside the
like fuck.
Teletubbies
house. Nightmares, yeah. Because part of the live action thing with the problem for me, right, is I was tense most of the way through because I was kind of like, when's the bad shit going to happen? When's the fucked upness going to happen? I was just waiting for the other fucking shoe to drop.
I'm not going to put a gun on Kaide. Dino jumps in the path of the bullet to be continued.
You gotta change time again. I have no idea what the fuck is happening with this fucking live action bit, but I'm enjoying the show in general, so that's good.
Just do whatever the hell they want. We'll just
Yeah,
riff
pretty much.
on the previous episode. We'll just like, where can we? What kind of local area can we have this guy muss around in a dinosaur mascot costume and just get into crazy situations and maybe with some weirdos or some people like on looking in this bizarre scene. Inspire some kids, play some. Well, not even play baseball, just pose with the items, with the bat and the ball.
Because they were really
underhand
impressed with his
throw.
underhand throw, yeah.
Wow, this guy is a pro.
Okay, that I believe is everything for this week. Believe it or not, there's another new thing for next week.
How and for how long? Oh,
Right,
what about
well.
One Piece, actually?
I didn't watch One Piece.
Fair enough.
Did you watch One Piece? You can talk about One Piece if you like.
No, we're good.
We're good because that's going on hiatus.
Fine.
So
That's when it stops, so we'll have plenty of time to catch up to
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. And there's definitely things we can fill in because at some point we need to speak about Rohan.
Ooh.
That at least that's on the fucking horizon to keep us sane, yeah.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, we may just have to start delving back into the past.
Oh, well.
How do you do a weekly anime podcast when there's no
Slim
weekly anime?
Slim pickings down that way. I don't know.
Shit.
Well, there's tons of shit that
Yes.
you can get. I guess on a number of services. If you want to just watch some more Tatsunoko things, you can get on a high dive account. There's piles of that in there.
Yeah, I think
As a wise man once said, the past can never betray you.
I think there's you say that, and then you go back and watch things, and or things you liked, the people presenting them turned out to be sexual predators. So
That happens too often. Yeah.
I feel like the past can frequently betray.
It can. It didn't make it more in the sense that, well, if you know how well a particular TV series ended and was worth your while, you can just read up about it.
Right.
You can go on in that way.
That's true. But your own personal past can betray you constantly. Right, so yes, we're back next week with more of this. Because I don't think anything is actually stopping between now and the next episode. So we should
We'll
have...
get at least one more off of a bunch of these.
Yeah, I've not heard anything about listeners or Wave Listen to Me yet, I don't think. Or Gal and
I
Dino.
don't know how much of it's completed, so they might be okay for a good while, if not entirely. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder as well about even some of the shorter things, how much of they get a leg up on, because my
of course.
Get a bit more ahead on that, seeing after shorts. Not that they don't involve a ton of work as well, but maybe within the shorter run time, able to
They got more
get
episodes
out there.
done. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But looking at a show for next week, we seem to have a lot of work put into it that may not hold up, but we'll hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm assuming the thing which starts next week may have been completed before it aired because of the amount of work the way it's been animated involves.
Yeah.
It feels
that's
like a
true.
thing you can't leave with weeks ahead of you.
No.
Similarly, I would guess Wacky TV Nanana's probably all in the bag because it's not like anybody behind that works on other anime shows in the meantime. So yeah, we'll see where we are with those shorts. So that you might be right. The shorts may have a better chance of survival than other things. I say don't know about Gal and Dino because obviously there's live action stuff. I don't know when they filmed that.
Yeah.
If it was live action components, I feel like that would have been done a good bit ahead of time.
Yes,
it needs to be like booked. You need to get the waivers and sign releases for the locations, and then needs to be edited down as well. Because like animation, it's made with the first thing in mind, but they got to work what they got with whatever they filmed that day. So I'd say they would have gotten a good deal of that at least. In the can already.
Yeah, I know from Kira Major that the Toei live action stuff had got like a 6 week ahead from because of the lead falling ill with the coronavirus. That's when
it was on the mend. Thank goodness.
Yes, yeah, but when that was announced, they were like, "Oh, don't worry, we've got 6 weeks ahead," not realizing that Japan would belatedly go into lockdown during those 6 weeks. So yeah, I guess Kira Major will be fully. Well, I've stopped watching that anyway. But 01, I imagine, will be, if not immediately, on hold to keep it in the same time space as Pretty Cure. Within the next few weeks, go on hold. So,
much and all as we had to adjust this podcast when there was a lack of JoJo, we'll have to figure out how to adjust it from a lack of anime. I'm sure we'll figure something out. It'll be grand.
We'll be all right.
Yes.
There's a couple of
There's
things.
loads there. Yeah.
There's a couple of things that this happen every season where it's like, oh, if I had a time, I'd go back on this. So maybe if it was something you got like a bit of the way into but had to leave aside for time reasons, then maybe you could give that a look now if it's still enticing you.
Sure.
Rightio. Otherwise, we will all be back here, hearty and healthy, next week. Goodbye.
Ta-ta. Stay safe, folks.